Welcome, everybody, to the Congressional Art and Fashion Association Special Hill Highlight. And today is another episode of our Meet the Artist series. And we're going to be talking about a very unique perspective of art, and that is art through makeup. Certainly, it has a practical purpose, but there is a skill set required, there is a vision required, and it certainly is a part of self-expression and communication. So to talk with us about that today is one of our very own, a Congressional Hill staffer and also the Vice President of the Congressional Art and Fashion Association, Wendy Hamilton. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be able to showcase my love of makeup to other staffers. I think since I got on the Hill, that's something that people always have pointed out to me is like how much they like my lipstick and how much, they like my brows. And so I do think it has its place in not only on the Hill, but in every professional setting. Like you said, I am the VP of the Congressional Art and Fashion Association. I also am the Outreach Associate for the Vice Chair of the Democratic Caucus, Catherine Clark. And in that more visible role, I tend to see that my makeup has changed a bit depending on the day and who I'm meeting with and the scenario and where I'm meeting people with. So I'm really excited that I can showcase this part of my life with other staffers on the Hill.
Thank you so much. And, a lot of your knowledge base and technique and your perspective, especially on the Hill, is so needed. I know I've had to come to you myself a few times just to get some counsel. I was going on a trip. I needed to have some kind of makeup plan, and I looked in my makeup bag and I was very disappointed, discouraged, and distracted by what I saw. So being able to speak with you and get some great advice, not only for myself, but you have great advice to give for the members that we work for as well. So the details that you're aware of and able to share is really helpful. And just tell us a little bit more about that. How did you get into the interest of understanding some of the more nuanced details about makeup and maybe appropriateness for different kind of makeup situations that you would need?
Yeah, actually it all started in my first makeup job, which was at Bare Minerals boutique in a mall.
Okay.
And I used to wear a lot of colors. Like I loved wearing colors on my eyes, bold lipsticks. And sometimes clients would get a little intimidated and I would realize like, oh, they don't want to look like me, but because I'm look like I'm not for an everyday person. So every day was different, but a lot of times, a lot of the days were more, let me go with something that people could see themselves in. And I take that approach at work as well. I want people to see me in a meeting and feel approachable. If they're interested in makeup, I want them to feel that way about themselves and be able to be like, oh, I can wear this to work every day. Like I can do that red lipstick without making it feel like, it's a Friday night I'm out with my friends, or I can do the fun purple lipstick and make it look really professional. And also one of the nuances I've really noticed about myself in makeup is making sure that it's palatable for everybody, not just what I do for myself, but how I describe makeup to people. When people come to me asking a question about, I can never wear an orange lipstick, I always try to find that happy ground that makes people feel comfortable, but kind of pushes them out of their comfort zone and makes them understand that professionalism is a spectrum and there's ways to push it, whether it's with your makeup or with your hair or with your clothing. And so I think that's what I've taken from all this. And in terms of focusing on members, I think it's depending on what the members' face-to-face interactions are. Is it more that they're on TV? Are they more in meetings? Are they on the house floor? And so focusing on those different scenarios, what kind of lighting definitely makes me think about what kind of makeup or what kind of technique they should be using, or if it's a powder that they should be throwing on just to make them look a little bit more refined under the lights.
Wow. So it just sounds like there are a lot of different scenarios that can come up when we're talking about makeup. And I love the word that you used when you said that there is a spectrum. And just like anything else with the way we present ourselves, there can be a range. And, the way one person wants to express how they look, it could be very different from someone else. Or like you said, if the event, what they're going to, if they're going to be on TV or not, that could really change your approach. Can you tell us just some of the questions that you've gotten about, like some of the common questions from other staffers and your answers to them, and some common questions you've heard about members of Congress, be that women or men?
Yeah, from staffers, I get questions about foundation, should you wear the matted versus the shinier, I guess the glossier finishes, lipstick colors, lip gloss, lip liners, mascara, should I do concealer? I think those everyday things that people are looking to make their skin feel a little bit more refined throughout the day, how to prevent oiliness throughout the day. For members, I've gotten questions from their staffers about, my boss tends to be shiny in the forehead. What can I do to convince him, a lot of times it's the men, that he needs a little bit of a translucent powder or maybe some blotting sheets. And for the members, what I always tell them, I'm like, let them know that show them a way to put the powder on that they may not feel that they're putting on makeup, whether it's with a cotton swab or a cotton pad, or maybe not so much of a fluffy brush. Or if they are not comfortable with the powder, do the blotting pads or paper towel. Even paper towels are a perfect absorber of oil. For staffers, I always just give them recommendations based on things that I like, but also that I've seen. Like if I see somebody wear more colorful outfits, I'm more inclined to recommend some of my favorite colors to them. If I see somebody who tends to be more neutral tones, I always tend to recommend more nudes for them. And so it depends on the interaction I have with each person.
Okay, now this is another question I'm just throwing out to you. A lot of the time on the Hill, either for the staffer themselves or for their member of Congress who they're working for, there are a lot of emergency situations where maybe all of a sudden now they have to be on TV, or all of a sudden a staffer has to fill in for somebody and meet with an important stakeholder. Give us 3 tips or like an emergency kit. What would you suggest that we kind of always have on hand as staffers for ourselves or staffers for our member to try to do a quick fix or to get ourselves or our member ready in a moment's notice?
Yeah, I think an emergency kit, if it had 3 products, would definitely be maybe a setting spray or a refreshing spray that helps to tone down a little bit of the oils and give your skin a more even finish. For the women members, maybe a lip color that's a little bit darker than their own lips, so it looks a little bit more natural but gives them a little bit more depth. And also, if they're not already wearing mascara, a mascara definitely helps the eyes pop. For the men, again, I would go with the spray. I would also go with a little bit of translucent powder and or blotting paper. I think those are the things that I would recommend any office carry, especially comms professionals. If you're with your boss all the time, those things are lifesavers.
That is great insight and advice. I think we need to remember that and to have that kind of handy in our pockets or a small bag at all times. I think that's going to be super useful. Thank you so much for that.
I think an additional kit just in your boss's office at all times, make sure that one never leaves the Hill. That is something that stays in their office. That way, it doesn't travel with them back to the district. You can always have that handy when you need it.
Fantastic advice. Thank you so much on that. Hope all the Hill staffers hear that. And also I want to follow up that if any of you all have some questions or would have maybe more specific questions, free to drop a comment at the bottom of this video, and we'll try to get that response from Wendy. She has a wealth of knowledge, so please remember you can always do that for additional follow-up questions. But I want to get into some of the changes that we are experiencing in our present time. We are facing a healthcare crisis. We are facing an economic crisis. And as staffers on the Hill, we are emotionally dealing with all of these new realities. Our lifestyle, our routines have changed significantly, but we are still, like many others, required to continue on and push forward with the roles that we are charged with. So I wanted to get your perspective. This is something we still have to do. We still have to go out into the world and meet people. We still have to have meetings, whether it be in person or virtually. What trends have you seen or changes have you seen when it comes to makeup routines or skincare routines in this current time?
Yeah, I have noticed that, makeup has become much less of a priority. First and foremost, I think people taking care of their mental and emotional health has become the forefront. And
Yeah.
then once you've taken care of that, I think it starts to reflect in the way that you are taking your meetings and how you feel that you want to dress. And if you want to put makeup on, skincare has been a big focus, I think, not only personally, but having conversations with other people where they've had the time to take care of their skin, whether they've, had issues with breakouts like I have on my forehead, whether it's stress breakouts around the cheek area or the mouth area, I think on the nose, I think people are prioritizing skincare first. Which I think is incredibly smart. We're spending more time at home, not under the sun, not getting enough vitamin D. We're spending more time in bed where your skin cells are falling off on the bed more often. So prioritizing that is incredibly important. After you feel like you've gotten to the routine of skincare, as far as makeup, I think people are definitely not doing mascara, or not mascara, foundation as much. Maybe a little bit of concealer if you've always felt you needed that. But I think mascara and lip gloss have definitely become the go-to every day. Maybe a little bit of a brow, bushy brows are the thing right now. Really laminated brows that look natural and bushy are super in. And so that more flawless, trying not so hard look is really in, and it's an easy thing to achieve as well.
Absolutely. So now, as you just mentioned, where there are a lot of changes, there are more skincare considerations. And also we are wearing our masks when we do go outside a lot.
Yeah.
And some of us are taking full advantage of enjoying that you can't see half of my face. So you are going to get none or half of my effort with my makeup today. But what do you have any, and again, personal or advice rather about going out with our masks on?
Yeah.
Do you suggest any kind of specific skincare considerations, or maybe some tips of how we can do if we would like to do some makeup while wearing our mask? What could we do to kind of accomplish a look even with our mask on?
Yeah. So for people who choose not to do makeup, I recommend making sure that you're still wearing a moisturizer with an SPF. The sun rays are real, skin cancer is real, and it's important to make sure that you're always wearing SPF on your face. If you're not choosing to wear makeup, I think a little bit of a mascara and your mask and you're good to go and you feel put together. For people who choose to wear makeup or on days that you have a reason to be a little bit more dressed up, setting spray, which I have here, is one of my favorites. Setting spray helps to keep everything in place, helps it not move around. And then my little trick for my mask is a little piece of paper towel. Not only is paper towel a good filter for your mask, but it helps to keep your makeup in place. So I just take it and I kind of fold the little corners in and I throw my mask on. And just like that, you can't even see it. But what it does, it helps to make sure your lipstick isn't transferring onto your mask, your foundation isn't transferring. It's an absorbent, so even if you see a little bit of makeup on the paper towel, it hasn't moved the product, which is a little trick that I've found out, especially when it was hot in the summer. It was really helpful as well to kind of retain some of the moisture.
I love that, because some of us are still, we still have to go into the office and go into work.
Yeah.
And if we have our makeup on, that will get on the mask if we don't have some kind of barrier in between. So thank you as well.
It's been a lifesaver. And there's people who I've seen not wear masks because they have their makeup on. And I message them right away and I'm like, throw a paper towel in between, you'll be perfectly fine.
There is a solution. There is always a solution. Now, you talked about also people are having more time and allowing their skin to kind of breathe in a different way without having to put the foundation on daily, as we might be used to doing. What kind of skin health tips do you have, or have you found helpful in your experience that really helps to elevate the health and protection of your skin?
Yeah, definitely trial and error. Because I have curly hair and I tend to wear it down the forehead breakouts are real. So anything with a salicylic acid is really great for cleaning out the pores and keeping those breakouts away. I've gone through probably 4 different products during quarantine, and I finally found the one that has been really great for my skin, which I'll show you just so you know. It's a little clear booster. It's a serum, but I use a natural sea mineral face wash every morning and every evening. I do not falter on washing my face, even if I've been home all day. If I haven't even worked out or anything, I still make sure to wash my face twice a day. I use a glow tonic, which has glycolic acid, which is good for natural exfoliation. I do that maybe twice a week. And then for my moisturizer, I have to put a plug. It is a Black-owned business called Butter, and it is a shea butter moisturizer that I have loved. It's all natural. My skin feels soft, glowy, and very hydrated. And so that's something that I've been obsessed with since I bought it a couple months ago, and I've just been plugging it to everybody. But more natural skincare has been definitely a help for me. Trying to move away from harsh chemicals, anything with fillers, I think is really important, since we're not getting a lot of sun and air these days.
You know, that might have to be another conversation completely when we discuss products and ingredients and the impact it has on ourselves or impact it has on the environment as well. So we may do a part 2 later on.
Let me tell you, I think I learned so much from other staffers as far as skincare, because everyone's skin is so different. So even within my own team, I have learned so many new products and ingredients, natural ingredients that I think are important for the skin that I had never thought about for myself. So just having those conversations amongst other people has been really helpful.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. Now, there's this one other topic I want to discuss. We are impacted and influenced by, like you said, our peers, by the immediate culture that we have around us. But a lot of us are also impacted by, our heritage, our culture. And we are happy to celebrate. This is National Hispanic Heritage Month. And I just wanted to ask you, is there anything about your background or your history, your culture that has at all influenced your perspective on makeup or skincare?
Yeah, absolutely. My family's from Panama, and I think in the Latinx communities, beauty has always been a thing that has been important, whether it comes to the colorful eyeshadows, lipsticks, painting your nails, getting dressed up, wearing heels. And so my mom is one of 7 girls. And the majority of my cousins on that family are girls. And so we grew up playing in their foundations, in their eyeshadows. And so I always loved putting on a brow or throwing on a winged eyeliner, throwing on some red lipstick, even, when I was younger. And they always said red is not for little girls. I always wanted to wear a red lipstick. And so till this day, it still influences me. My mom is a huge makeup lover. And so I've grown to be able to, our gifts to each other a lot of times are makeup and going makeup shopping together. I think what's changed on the other end is me being able to tell my family, there are brands now that are more inclusive to brown and Black skin. A lot of times I think deeper shades were very chalky on women, and now you're seeing brands expand and be more inclusive. And so I love that I can share that with my family now. And that wasn't something that we could always do. Also, they're from, Panama's very hot, and so their skin is flawless, but also reminding them that SPF is important. I didn't always know that, and now I'm a big proponent of making sure that we all wear SPF regardless of skin complexion.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that history with us and your perspective. And I'm so happy as well that makeup and skincare products have come so far with their recognition of cultural sensitivities and needs. So thank you so much, Wendy. You have given us some great insight as Hill staffers and also to help our members of Congress as well. Indeed, makeup is a form of art, form of expression. And we have a lot more to learn and a lot more to experiment with. And this is the time to do it. So again, if you all have any follow-up questions, something that you want to ask Wendy, just drop a comment below and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for joining the Congressional Art and Fashion Association with our Meet the Artist Hill highlight with Wendy Hamilton. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicole.